Now was a busy, happy time. Manly was early in the field, plowing, and Laura was busy all day with cooking, baking, churning, sweeping, washing, ironing, and mending. The washing and ironing were hard for her to do. She was small and slender, but her little hands and wrists were long, and she got it done. Afternoons, she always put on a clean dress and sat in the parlor corner of the front room sewing or knitting on Manly's socks. Sundays, they always went for a buggy ride, and as the horses trotted along the prairie roads, Laura and Manly would sing the old singing school songs. Their favorite was "Don't Leave the Farm, Boys." You talk of the of Australia. They've wealth with in red gold without doubt. But there's gold on the farm, boys. If only you'll show it out. Don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry to go. Don't be in a hurry to go. Better risk the old farm a while longer. Don't be in a hurry to go. And Laura thought of the golden wheat stored in the homestead claim shanty, and she was glad. The drives were short these days, for the plowing was hard work for pretty quick-stepping Skip and Barnum, the driving team. Manly said they were not large enough to do all the breaking of the new sod land. One day he came home from town, leading two large horses hitched behind the wagon, and they were drawing a new sulky breaking plow. Now Manly said he could hitch all four horses to the big plow. Then there would be no trouble in getting the land broke for crops next year. The horses had been a bargain because their owner was in a hurry to sell and get away. He had sold the relinquishment of his homestead to a man from the east and was going further west to take up another claim where government land could still be found. The sulky plow had cost $55, but Melly had only paid half down and given a note for the rest to pay next year. The plow turned a furrow 16 inches wide in the tough grass sod and would pay for itself in the extra acres. Manly could get ready for crops since he could ride instead of walking and holding a narrow walking plow. After that, Laura would go out in the morning and help hitch the four horses to the plow. She learned to drive them and handle the plow too, and sometimes would plow several times around the field. She thought it was great fun. Shortly after this, Manly came from town again, and behind the wagon was a small iron gray pony. Here, he said to Laura, is something for you to play with, and don't let me hear any more about your father not letting you learn to ride his horses. This one is gentle and won't hurt you. Laura looked at the pony and loved it. I'll call her Trixie, she said. The pony's feet were small and her legs were fine and flat. Her head was small with a fine mealy nose and ears pointed and alert. Her eyes were large and quick and gentle. Her mane and tail were long and thick. That night after supper, Laura chose her saddle from the descriptions and pictures in Montgomery Ward's catalog and made the order for it, ready to mail the first trip to town. She could hardly wait for the saddle to come, but she shortened 2 weeks' time by making friends with Trixie. It was a beautiful all-leather saddle, tan-colored and fancy-stitched, with nickel trimmings. And now, said Mandy, I'll put the saddle on Trixie and she can learn together. I'm sure she'll be gentle even if she never has been ridden, but better head her onto the plowed ground. It will be harder going for her, so she won't be so frisky, and a soft place for you to light if you fall off. So when Laura was safely in the saddle, left foot in the leather slipper stirred up her right knee over the saddle horn, with the leaf horn fitting snugly about it. Manly let go the bridle, and Laura and Trixie went out on the plowed ground. Trixie was good and did her best to please, even though she was afraid of Laura's skirt blowing in the wind. Laura didn't fall off, and day after day they learned horseback riding together.